Now, in our first story, managers of Hill Komfo Anokye project, an ambitious $10 million project to refurbish the Komfo Anokye teaching hospital, say they are faced with significant setbacks as the city's depreciation erodes their progress. According to the chairman of the Hill Komfo Anokye teaching hospital project team, Sami Edubuachi, they have managed to raise $4 million in just 5 months, but the depreciation of the city has wiped out the progress made in the progress. He says they need more cities to hit their target.
Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital is not experiencing the leakages that it used to experience during the rainy season. So as I speak, there are no more leakages at the hospital due to the intervention of His Majesty and inspirational leadership of the CEO and the management, Professor Ochre Adair-Mensah, and with the support of the general public. We are making some good progress. The good progress involves the fundraising drive that we are still doing. Currently, we have reached about 40% of our target of $10 million, which means we are around $4 million, which is no child's play.
Yeah.
And this fundraising is being spearheaded by His Majesty himself. There are times that individuals, corporate organizations that visit the palace or pay courtesy calls on him are reminded, or have you paid your quota to the Hill Komfo Anokye project, because this is for all of us. And remind us, go and pay. So it is for us and it's by us.
Meanwhile, Sami Edubuachi says they are making good progress as they will be handling over some of the completed projects to the hospital in September this year.
We are making some good progress, and like I said, if for nothing at all, by the end of this year, the one of the blocks, the A block, would have been completed fully.
Okay. So that people will see the monies we gave
is there.
Yeah.
It's not just by the end of the year. We are also looking forward to the fact that by the end of September, the first 2 floors will be occupied, have been completed. His Majesty and other donors will come and inspect it, and then we'll send the patients back. You know, the hospital is still in operation. So what happens is that if it is in operation, you cannot have the block to yourself and do the day and night work as it is that you had planned.
Okay.
And that is also more or less the MBU block where mothers, babies are there. So it is a bit cumbersome.
Ghana's health sector teeters on the brink of collapse as the mass exodus of health workers driven by unfavorable working conditions, skyrocketing living costs, and a struggling economy, which is a critical point. The Ghana Medical Association has sounded the alarm, revealing that 50% of newly graduated doctors leave the country annually in search of greener pastures. Here's Prince Kwame Kudego's report from the annual general meeting of the Society of Private Medical and Dental Practitioners under the theme Health Sector Brain Drain to Brain Gain, the role of private practitioners.
The exodus of healthcare professionals in search for greener pastures has increased to 50% annually, a situation the Ghana Medical Association described as detrimental to healthcare delivery and will affect Ghana's ability to achieve universal healthcare coverage target by 2030. President of GMA, Dr. Frank Sribo, says the situation is now worrying as the country is losing experienced specialists to brain drain.
Brain drain in the health sector is no brainer. We are losing our nurses, we are losing our doctors. And in the past, we used to lose quite young people who probably have just started work and so forth. Now we are losing even specialists. They are leaving. Consultants are leaving. Nurses, well-trained nurses, nurses that you don't expect to leave are leaving.
The main reason for these doctors fleeing the country, he says, is financial.
But the issues are clear. Whether we like it or not, the number one driver of brain drain is actually economics. So if we don't do anything about our economic situation in this country, and we don't check how this country is progressing in terms of our depreciation of our cedi, our unemployment status, the kind of things that are happening regarding the economy, we would have to suffer.
President of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, Perpetual Ofori Amanfo charged government to issue clearance for employment of personnel to fill the gap created by health workers' exodus.
The staffing gaps that have been caused by the immigration of our colleagues is a threat to the safety of our patients and our own safety as health practitioners. We have recently seen the announcement of the Ministry of Health, for example, in terms of the financial clearance to employ nurses. We are excited and we are happy about it. But of course, it will still not mitigate the employment needs of the nurses and midwives within the health sector. And as much as many of them have left, they've caused serious gaps within the health system. And we are aware of the dwindling or reducing nurse-patient ratios and the fact that the workload on those at post is also increasing.
On his part, President of the Society of Private Medical Practitioners, Dr. Andre Kwesi Kuma, wants government to create an enabling environment for private healthcare providers to thrive.
The private sector can go a long way to help retain healthcare workers if the business environment is friendly and conducive. In this regard, we call again on our government to introduce and implement business-friendly policies such as import waivers on medical equipment, lower taxes, special utility rates, human resource support, etc. This will enhance expansion and enable the private sector to retain healthcare workers as well as reaching out more to the districts and sub-districts.
The annual general meeting of the Society of Private Medical and Dental Practitioners is on the theme, Health Sector Brain Drain to Brain Gain, the role of private practitioners. The event brought together players in the health sector to deliberate on solutions to the brain drain in the sector. Prince Kwame Kuduga's report for Joy News.
Meanwhile, President of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Frank Serbo, has warned that Ghana risks losing its most skilled health professionals if the government fails to address these pressing issues. He added 25% of Ghana's health specialists have also exited the country.
We also have people who stay at home for too long. Doctors, nurses, because of the fact that financial clearance is not forthcoming. What happens is that as they stay at home, they begin to write these foreign exams, the USMLEs and other NCLEX and so forth. And once they are done, even after employment, these people are already set on the path to leave. So if we have to address this issue, we need to address it holistically. And that would include looking at the broader picture of our country's economics and ensuring that our economy is stable, so that our purchasing power is also stable. And it tells you the dire situation in which we find ourselves in. And this is because of the depreciation of our currency and then the depreciation of our economic conditions. So we can solve all the other issues. We can look at training and so forth, but if we don't tackle the broader picture, it's just going to be like fetching water into a bath. We'll continue to lose our doctors and nurses.
Dr. Serbo, are you able? Okay, are you able to give us numbers as at the last count? What does it look like? How serious is the situation?
At the last count, I think that for some of our junior doctors, we had about 50% of those who have qualified who are left. And the senior specialists and specialists, I think about 25% of them have left. I don't have the physical numbers, but that tells you that if you have 100 specialists and you are having 25 of them leave the system, and these are people who are well trained, and they could even be in the system to train even more people. And for the junior colleagues, they are leaving in droves. So we have to keep on counting and counting. It's something that is occurring on a daily basis.
Now, the United States Embassy in Accra say the number of Ghanaians are seeking to enter America has shot up significantly, is even outstripping the increased resources to process visa applications speedily. Although the U.S. mission concedes the movement of people between the two nations will enhance its people-to-people relations with Ghana, there is an emerging constraint where the demand for U.S. visas has tripled since 2019, hence creating the backlog. So why are some Ghanaians desperate to get American visas? Joy News has been to the street of Accra to gauge the view of Ghanaians.
You see, when you look at the economic indicators, you can see that the economy is not performing well, the dollar to CD rate and other stuffs. So there's no opportunity in the country in terms of employment. So when you have a place you can get employment or a greener pasture, I think everyone will love a greener pasture and everyone will take the opportunity. As time goes on, we are aging and we fade out in opportunity. So if we have a place we can grab opportunity, why not?
Because of the hardship in the country, I can say that. Yeah, you see, the economy is very hard. That's why most of the youth are leaving. Most of the youth, let me use that way. Most of the youth are thinking that the government are not helping them. That's why most of people are wanting to leave. That's why I think so. Yeah.
I think it has to do with the high inflation rates. Businesses are collapsing, and it all has to do with the inflation rate. You bring a capital into the country to start a business, and inflation is way above what you expected. What would you do? So it has to do also with the inflation rates. Yeah, fluctuating here and there is a mess.
And if you're looking for employment opportunity, even within the last 5 years, the opportunities have declined. And all of the youth that are graduating from college, those who are nursing and engineering degrees, medical degrees, they can't find a job, and you can't blame them. You got to go to a place and an environment that's going to be supportive and where you can make a living. If you want to have a family and move through life like people normally do, unfortunately, this isn't fertile ground to do it. And so I can't blame the youth, and it's understandable that it would be 300%, if not higher, and it's probably going to continue to go up.
Well, I think it's because of unemployment rise in the country. We also know things are not going well economically in the country, and so this might be as a result of the reasons why many of the youth are trying to move out of the country to seek greener pastures.
The Bono East Regional Director of Health Services, Dr. Fred Adumaku-Boateng, has admonished the general public to endeavor towards knowing their hepatitis status to help prevent transmission among the populace and facilitate timely treatment. He made this call during a brief program to mark the World Hepatitis Day in Kintampo. And now Sabit has more in this report.
In Ghana, hepatitis B and C virus infection remains a major public health threat, as in many parts of the world, and even with an effective vaccine, there are still shortfalls with low vaccine coverage amongst adults. To help create awareness as well as encourage vaccination amongst the populace, the Bono East Regional Directorate of Health Services is urging the general public to endeavor towards knowing their statuses, which is key towards attaining prevalence levels and provide the needed clinical support. Dr. Fred Adumaku-Boateng is the Regional Director of Health Services.
For every 30 seconds, somebody will die from hepatitis, viral hepatitis. And not only that, globally, yearly, 1 million people die in relation to viral hepatitis and its complications. And within every 10 seconds, somebody develops a chronic hepatitis. In this time and age, this should not happen.
Dr. Fred Adumaku-Boateng, who was speaking at a brief program to mark the World Hepatitis Day, was however quick to admonish the general public to take extra care of their liver, which according to him remain a vital organ in the human body.
There are about more than 500 functions that are performed by the liver. It's a very vital organ in the body. All the food, the nutrients that we will eat is able to convert some of them, detoxify the drugs that we take. So it's a very vital organ that we cannot play with it. So it's important that we make sure that it's functioning its ultimate best.
Medical superintendent at the Kintampo Government Hospital, Dr. Anthony Chum, expressed worry at the fact that patients who report to the facility with hepatitis cases usually report at advanced stages and will need urgent attention.
And when it comes to issues of management of patients with hepatitis, most of these patients who come in needing emergency services are patients who have basically reached their end stage. Patients who come with acute abdomen, patients who come with distended abdomen, who may need oxygen, who may need some form of medications. Within our capacity, we are able to manage those patients and then get them. Or those who have to be referred to the next level, we also manage and then refer them to the next level.
Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Kintampo.
Now, in another story, a delegation of health professionals from Iceland-Ghana Hospital in Iceland, led by Professor Amos Stephen Bojonsen and Ruth Ejaho Samuelson, has visited the Ho Teaching Hospital and the School of Nursing and Midwifery at the University of Health and Allied Sciences. The visit aimed to explore potential collaborations between the two institutions. The tour included detailed presentations on both institutions' facilities, services, and ongoing projects.
During the tour, the management and staff of the Ho Teaching Hospital warmly received the Icelandic team. The tour included detailed presentations on both institutions' facilities, services, and ongoing projects. The team from Iceland-Ghana Hospital was particularly impressed by the Ghanaian counterpart's commitment to healthcare delivery and education. The leader of the group, Professor Enna Stefan Bonser, highlighted the advanced and efficient operations of Iceland-Ghana Hospital, emphasis on patient-centered care.
I think it's important to learn to know each other because we have a lot in common. We can learn from each other, and in my opinion, there is a lot to do in comparing the care of patients and the delivery of care.
Mrs. Ruth Ejaho Samuelson, who initiated the visit, expressed optimism that the collaboration will be mutually beneficial.
So I think that we have a lot to learn comparing the health system at Iceland-Ghana to what we have here in Ghana. This is my own experience. So I'm very grateful for being here and bringing all these people to see what we have here. And as you can see, we went around and we did a lot of tour around, and we can all see that there are so many things that we can polish or add something to. So I hope that those who was with us today, the authorities, they can support us and help us to bring something good from Iceland to Ghana and from Ghana to Iceland.
Dr. John Tampori is the CEO of the Ho Teaching Hospital.
Partnership is the order of the day today. So what has changed is the level of partnership, where one just sits and receives and one gives. But we are looking for a kind of partnership where there will be a win-win situation. The advocate will introduce them to new things that is different from what they have in Iceland. And our interaction will also open new doors for us, because everything is cultural based. So what is good for them might not necessarily be good for us, and what is good for us may not be necessarily good. But coming together, we'll identify the areas we can actually have a common understanding and a common acceptance.
Margaret Ofori of the School of Nursing and Midwifery has also welcomed the collaboration, noting its potential to enhance the quality of nursing and midwifery education.
So happy that they've allowed themselves to be convinced to come to the Volta region, because Accra is Ghana, but Accra is not Ghana. You know, you and I know that Ho is a place that has to develop. This is a great beginning of greater things that we need to achieve. COVID-19 has come to teach us a lesson that the whole world is connected after all, and distance is no longer a reason. And so we have been collaborating through Zoom and Google meetings and WhatsApp. Today they are here face to face, and I'm happy. Initially I was very anxious, but I'm happy because this day has actually happened, and I'm sure this is the beginning. Rome was not built in a day, and so we are going to continue with our collaboration and our networking so that Ghana will be in Iceland and Iceland will be in Ghana.
The visit concluded with a commitment from both parties to develop a framework for future collaboration. Ivy Setoji, Joy News. Ho.
Moving on, the Queen Mother of Denyase Huntado Paramount area in the Ashanti region has made a strong case for traditional authorities to play a role in fighting illegal mining across the country. Nana Edunchewa Bonin III has been sharing her effort in warding off illegal miners who have attempted to destroy lands in her jurisdiction. The police and indigents of Huntado also speak of the involvement of state and political actors in a collective drive to clamp down on Galamsey. They were speaking at the second edition of the Poison for Gold Community Tour, an outreach program of Galamsey sponsored by the VOA, USAGM, and the Multimedia Group.
Hi, my name is Erastus Asaridonko. We started this Poison for Gold community tour from Samraboy in the Western region. Today, we are here at Denyase Huntado in the Ashanti region, where the effects of illegal mining is creeping into the fabric of society. The Odan River is just close by, with some fan machines sitting on it, polluting the river. The indigents here do not know the effects of illegal mining or galamsey on their health. We are here to tell them. Welcome to the Poison for Gold Community Tour, Denyase Huntado.
Na yabaya yenante sie ne se wadane batanya yeso bogalamsey hu bra wa hapa chese oma kwamiense nsu oma kwamiense asase na mono so ene yatimi na naso de yatimi e de dwumadie yi aba ti ye ba na wo se amamre kwanso ye be chia
ye mama kwa aba na afinso no ene dwumadie ase na nanom ase nyankopon se onto supango so na bibia enkoda boko.
Denyase Mahama Nana Edunchewa Bonin III used a strong stance against illegal mining in the community to emphasize the role of traditional authorities in the fight against illegal mining.
Wafidia mefa, machine si hɔ mekasa kɔ wankwa a kwan bia mefa so a
I will impound or demobilize your equipment if I have to. If I tell you to move and you don't, I will find any means possible to get your attention.
Ebinum see election year. Say kromudie estate because stop prenu or say a election year. Instruction from above.
Some are saying it's an election year in an issue which occurred at Sekrom. I had to stop them twice. On the third attempt, they said it's an election year. Instructions from above.
Intimisumi say a election year. May ye Denyase Mahama. Mena assassino.
I also said it's an election year, but I'm the Queen Mother of Denyase and custodian of the land, and it won't happen on my watch.
Said, did you we need to me? Sawotong Edema Galamsey.
If I give you land to work on, you have no right to lease the land to illegal miners. Nobody has that right.
I'm sad after watching the documentary. If the pollution from Galamsey can make us sick, even just by swimming in the polluted water, what can we do to protect ourselves?
Says China for a boom, this woman say, and say, one more alien, the other. Some penny for being shared, I won't even say,
We are here blaming the Chinese for Galamsey, but if some of our leaders are not supporting them, can they do what they are doing? The Galamsey is rampant in this area. But people in government are also involved. We know police personnel who assist Chinese miners to do galamsey. How do we stop illegal mining when security agents and political actors are involved? We cannot say that there is nobody in this room who is not engaged in galamsey. You cannot say there's nobody in this room who has given his land out for galamsey.
Na oye wei wa jisika na nipa no ebeye adwuma ni wia na o si police o si nana hema.
When you do all that, do you blame police or the Queen Mother?
Pani ba ko kasa o si obi abodawru se wo gold wo asase so na se obetu a brahimfie. People are a police station.
One man said somebody has announced that if somebody wants to mine gold on his land, they should come to the palace. Is the palace a police station? Those engaged in galamsey are our relatives. What are we telling them to stop? The Poison for Gold community tour is sponsored by the Voice of America, USAGM, and the U.S. Department of State, Bureau of Oceans, International and Scientific Affairs, Office of Conservation and Water.
So on that note, we take a short break. We have more news for you. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that break. Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean 4 in 4 quantity, and Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA. The American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, together as the Association of the International Certified Professional Accountants, Chopbox Technologies, a convenience service, and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. Now, the flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, has expressed skepticism regarding President Komfo Ado's assertion that the Agyapadie document is fabricated. Speaking at the Bawku Nabes Palace during his campaign tour in the Upper East region, he emphasized that despite the president's dismissal of the document's authenticity, the implementation of its content has occurred and not fabricated.
I've met several investors, and all of them are saying they are waiting to see the results of the election before they come and invest their money here in Ghana. And so we should not make a mistake with this particular election. It is an election like no other. The stakes are the highest. It will determine the future of our country. The second is we need to hold this government accountable for the hardship, the crisis that they've subjected Ghana to, for the state capture that they have implemented in Ghana over the last 8 years. Buying every state property, buying all the government lands, amassing wealth to themselves. Recently, there was an issue about a document called Agyapadie. They said it's fabricated. But even if it's fabricated, the implementation is not fabricated. Because everything that is written in that document has been implemented. So if really somebody sat and fabricated that document, then the person can really read the minds of people.
Responding to a proposal to create a region from the Bawku area, he said the petition will receive a favorable response from a future NDC government if elected.
Because how they could have written that document and read the minds of Nana Akufo-Addo and his family, that this is what they were going to do, that person is a proper creative writer. Because everything in that document has been implemented. And so the implementation cannot be fabricated. So they must be held accountable. And that is why Nana Addo says he will not hand over to John Dramani Mahama. Because he knows that when I come, I'll hold he and his family and his government accountable for what they have done. They want their vice president to take over from them so that he can come and cover their backs. It is not going to happen. NDC is going to win the election, and those who have made the people of Ghana suffer by misappropriating the wealth of the people, by abusing their office, will be held accountable for what they have done.
My colleague Maxwell Agbagba is in the Upper East region for us. Maxwell, what more can you report, and what was the response after former President Mahama expressed skepticism about the Agyapadie document being fabricated.
Well, Winston, if I heard you right, you asked the question about the Agyapadie document, right?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Matua.
Yes, so the flag bearer of the NDC has been commenting about the document which is in circulation, essentially casting doubt and expressing skepticism about President Akufo-Addo's assertion that that document is a figment of the imagination of the people who authored it. You remember that the president himself was at an event just some days ago at the Kempinski Hotel where he spoke directly to the issue. Also some days ago we had the Ochehene also disputing some of the claims made in that document. But today, the flag bearer of the NDC has been weighing in on that as well, and has been breaking a silence on that subject. Like you rightly mentioned, he said that yes, although the president said that it's a fabrication, he believes that the implementation is not fabrication, essentially casting doubt on what the president has been saying. He made that assertion at the Bawku Palace. But where we are currently is the palace of the Pusiga chief, which is going to be the next place that he will be visiting. The people here are all waiting for him to arrive here on the ground. He was at the Bawku chief's palace earlier, where he spoke about a wide range of things. He talked about the creation of a new region for the Bawku area. He stated that he had heard the proposal from the Bawku Central Member of Parliament, Mahama Ayariga. In fact, in a closed-door meeting with the chiefs of Bawku, they also mentioned to him that they would want a new region created out of the Bawku area. He stated that there are constitutional hurdles to attaining that, but he says that it is an idea that he supports, and he says the reasons are justified. What you can see right now is the arrival of the flag bearer of the NDC, John Mahama, who is leaving his first port of call to the second place that he will be visiting. But I have with me here the Deputy National Youth Organizer of the NDC, Osman Ayariga, here with me. We seem to have the flag bearer of the NDC arriving here on the ground. You have been with him here in the Upper East region. What would you say has been the reception here in the Upper East region?
Well, the reception has been nothing but epic, overwhelming, and enthusiastic. Just yesterday, the president was entering Bolga. It took him 3 hours to get to his place of abode from the main entrance of Bolga to his hotel. I mean, a distance of less than a kilometer. It took him 3 hours to get there, yes. Okay. I think the president is almost here.
Okay, so the flag bearer of the NDC just arrived on the ground. So maybe we can...
Sure. So the young people are ready for change. Young people are enthusiastic about His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and they believe that this is time for him to effect the change, and this is the time for him to win the general election. So you can see people are out here in their numbers because of the love they have for the party and the love they have for John Dramani Mahama, and they believe that he can effect the change that they want. Young people are ready to build the Ghana that they want. Young people are ready to build it from the bottom to the top. So that is why you can see people out there ready to welcome Mr. Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
You've seen these people here. What do you think is the message that they want to hear from the flag bearer of the NDC?
Young people, all they want to hear is jobs, jobs, and jobs. And His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has promised them that he will give them jobs, and he will give them jobs through the 24-hour economy policy. He has also promised them, you know, there's a popular tricycle around here they call the Mahama Kandu that is mostly used for business. And he has promised them that through the mass work, as he did in the first administration, they'll have more tricycles to be able to move about in their businesses. So young people here, they want to hear jobs. The older generation, the young people also want to hear peace. And he has promised them that he's guaranteeing them the peace that they will enjoy in Bawku and its environs, especially within the Kusase area.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, my brother. I wish you well.
We just had the Deputy National Youth Organizer of the NDC, Osman Ayayiga, there speaking to us and talking about what the young people here, what the youth here want to hear. He talked about jobs, and jobs. But as you can see, we are right here in front of the Pusiga Chief's palace. In some minutes, the flag bearer of the NDC, John Mahama, should be arriving here on the ground. Let me try and speak to some of the people gathered here. Let me find out from them what they want to hear from John Mahama. Hi, sir. What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
Salif.
Salif.
My name is Salif.
Okay, what do you want to hear from John Mahama?
Bravo, Nengo.
Again, our person. Okay, so you can see right now the campaign manager, the campaign coordinator for the 2024 John Mahama campaign, Professor Joshua will be arriving here on the ground. Professor Joshua will be arriving on the ground. He's the 2024 campaign coordinator for the John Mahama campaign. The flag bearer himself, John Mahama, flag bearer of the NDC, John Mahama, has also arrived here on the ground, and shortly will be stepping out of his car. Hi, what's your name?
Yeah, my name is Kapo.
Okay, tell me, what do you want to hear from John Mahama?
Okay, I want to hear something like, I want to hear peace and like to do our country good for us. Now our fuel prices is not good for us, okay. And we want him to do something about it and reduce
fuel.
Yes.
What work do you do? Well, the flag bearer of the NDC.
As of now,
John
I am
stepped out of his car. Now the crowd is getting uncontrollable. The crowd is getting uncontrollable, and security personnel here having a hard time controlling them. But we are also having a difficult time. Flag bearer of the NDC, arrived here at the palace of the Pusiga Chief. Is just one out of the many places he'll be visiting for his tour of the Upper East region. So Winston, that is what is happening. We'll be going inside and we'll bring you details later. So that was my colleague Maswa bringing an update from Pusiga. We'll be shortly hearing more from developments at the Pusiga Chief's Palace. Still on the former president and 2024 flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress has commended the Catholic Church, especially the Catholic Bishops' Conference, for championing moral rights in our society. Speaking at the Episcopal ordination and installation of Wa Catholic Bishop, Most Reverend Bishop Francis Bomansam Inwa, he noted that it is not by the stroke of luck that the country continues to enjoy peace in a turbulent sub-region, but by the intercessory prayers of the Church. John Mahama assured the Catholic Bishops' Conference that under his leadership, the NDC is prepared to work with the Church to maintain peace and progress of the country. Joy News Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
The Grand Episcopal ordination and installation of Most Reverend Monsignor Francis Bomansam, Missionaries of Africa, as the Bishop of the Wa Diocese, was attended by people from all walks of life, including bishops from the country and beyond, leaders from other religious persuasions, traditional rulers, and close family members from Keleu, politicians from all sides of the political divide, including former president and flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, also found time to be at a colorful event. With his consecration as the chief shepherd of the Wa Diocese, he took over from Cardinal Richard Kumweba Wop, who passed on in November 2022. Most Reverend Francis Bomansam therefore becomes the 5th bishop of the World Diocese since creation of the World Diocese in 1959. Preaching the homily, Bishop of the Domongo Diocese, Most Reverend Peter Paul Zuome Anchir, outlined a plethora of responsibilities for the 62-year-old bishop.
And it may surprise you to know, despite the Catholicity of this diocese, there are many of our members who are going back to traditional religion. There is double allegiance. They are searching for answers to their questions about the faith and looking for a solution. Those sincere in having answers to the challenges will look up to you for guidance and direction. In this regard, I would like to draw your attention to the particular needs of the youth and within your flock. Pay attention to the pastoral care of the youth, who are the future of the church.
He calls for greater collaboration between the new bishop and members of the diocese, especially the priest. Former President John Dramani Mahama commended the Catholic Church, especially the Catholic Bishops' Conference, for continuing to be the irrepressible moral voice of our society.
It cannot be by a stroke of luck that our country continues to be an oasis of peace in a turbulent sub-region. We enjoin you, Most Reverend Francis Bomasan, to join your fellow ministers to continue to pray for our nation, to relieve us of the current crisis we're going through, and for the peace and prosperity of our country, Ghana. I salute the Catholic bishops on this occasion, the Catholic Bishops' Conference, for continuing to be an irrepressible moral voice in our society. A voice that continues to express its views irrespective of any influences and without fear or favor. On this solemn occasion, let us all pledge to continue to work for peace and prosperity for our people. As a leader of a major political grouping in Ghana, the NDC, the National Democratic Congress, I wish to assure you all that my comrades and I would work with you, with the Church, to maintain the total peace and progress of our country. It is my hope that our President and the members of his government and party will make a similar commitment to work with us all for a successful election and a peaceful nation.
Our Power Sudan Minister, Stephen Yakubu, urged the people to respect each other's views, listen to opposing views, and engage in constructive dialogue in order to have peace before, during, and after the 2024 polls.
Let us reject violence, intimidation, and hate speech. Let us embrace the values of tolerance, empathy, and understanding. Peaceful elections are not just about the absence of conflict, but also is about the presence of respect, dignity, and compassion.
Reporting for Dway News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Now from wireless, we come back to the Greater Accra region. NDC Communications Officer Sami Jimfi has claimed that the ambulance procurement trial, which cited the minority leader Keso Atoforsen as causing financial loss to the state, was a political witch hunt that sought to get him removed from Parliament, which would have subsequently triggered a by-election. Speaking on Newsfile, Sami Jimfi added that the ambulance trial was simple, but no one should allow themselves to be confused by the Attorney General.
To know that, look, we have men and women of conscience on the bench who are alive to their fidelity to the law, their fidelity to the state, and will not be misled by the whims and caprices of a despotic government who are only interested in harassing, intimidating, oppressing critical voices. That, for me, is what gives me joy. You see, it is important that, as lawyers, we help those watching who may be non-lawyers to appreciate what has happened. Because I'm saying, to many people, they think that Atuforsen, after making his case in court, has won a case. He has been declared winner in this matter. No, but far from that, that is not what has happened. For those who think that the court, after listening to Atuforsen and Jakpa and all the other accused persons, has decided to adjudge them winners or has acquitted them and discharged them. That is not what has happened. What has happened is that the Court of Appeal, having looked at the entire evidence that was adduced before the High Court trying this matter, and by evidence, I'm talking about the facts canvassed by the prosecution and the testimony of all 6 witnesses of the state called by Godfrey Dame. The Court of Appeal is saying that on the basis of that evidence alone, they don't even have to hear the side of Atuforsen. They don't even have to hear the side of Jakpa. They are saying that it doesn't make sense for the states to prosecute a case of willfully causing financial loss to the state against Atuforsen and Jakpa.
Meanwhile, Deputy Attorney General Joseph Kwenka says the Attorney General should be allowed to exercise the right to appeal, as he has suggested he would do. Mr. Kwenka said the Attorney General is within his constitutional right to file for an appeal.
Look, there is so much to this case that you may not even know. It's come before me before. This particular matter, when I was Deputy Attorney General. It came before me. You know, and I'm being very honest with you. Dame made a determination that there was a case for Atuforsen to answer. That was why he went to court. Now, if you read the judgment...
Let me ask, even though I know you will say it. When he came before you, what was
Let's move ahead and deal with the issue. Deal with the issue as it is, you see. When he made the determination that Atuforsen was supposed to answer, and he went to court, indeed, the trial judge agreed with him. That was why the submission of no case was dismissed. Again, even when the appeal was made, one of the judges dissented. So those who are wishing it away as if it was a complete frivolity and that he concocted something and ran to court. So think about that. That even the court, the first court of instance agreed with him, and even in the appeal itself, one of the justices agreed with him.
The first court of instance is a sole judge.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
To the 3 wise men.
So I'm saying the 3 wise men
that you use. So let's keep to.
I agree, but you see, it wasn't unanimous, isn't it? There are some cases that we go to the court of appeal.
You don't need unanimity to have a parliamentary approval. You don't need unanimity to make a judgment.
Samson, you are running away from a basic fact that I want to draw your attention to. When there is a dissenting opinion in every judgment, okay, sometimes it can constitute the basis for which the other party that lost will go on appeal.
Now, away from politics, let's bring you some update from the world of business. Data from the Bank of Ghana reveals that non-performing loans in the banking sector rose to 24.1% as of June 2024. On Beyond the Numbers show on Joy News, banking consultant Dr. Richmond Ichiahene attributed this increase to the government's inability to settle legacy debt in the energy sector and poor corporate governance structures.
It's over more than 10 years. I can even go back at 2011. I mean, the non-performing has consistently been going up. And the work that we have done shows that between 2014 and 2024, we have climbed from 11% up to 24.1%. And the reason why, I think what accounts for this increment is basically, the first one is that government has not been able to service the debts, what I will call legacy debts. And if you read the IMF report 2024, it says that government owed 35 billion to non-energy sector, and then government owed 1.6 billion to the energy sector. If you aggregate them all, it's close to about 60 billion. And if the banks have lent so much of deposit, to government and government has not been able to pay, what it does is that it reflects on the non-performing. And the sad thing about it is that it correlates on the solvency of the banks.
Yeah.
That is why you can hear, that's why you can hear that government is talking about stability fund and what have we. All because the non-performing, if it has been settled as it is, I believe most of the banks will be solvent. Unfortunately, since 2014 up to, the reason being is that contracts are being awarded here and there, but monies are not being made available to settle it.
Now, the program officer of ICRA Accelerator Program, Faustina Obin Adoma, has called on the private sector to expand investment in the agricultural sector. She said the private sector must pay attention to climate-resilient programs to ensure productivity within the agricultural sector. She spoke to Joy Business at the launch of the ICRA Accelerator Program in Accra.
The accelerating impact of CGIAR Climate Research for Africa, ICRA, is targeted at the private sector. The group believes the private sector will provide end-to-end solutions to address challenges related to scaling products and services that enhance sustainable production and soil health. ICRA says this can be attained by providing access to agro-advisories, sustainable mechanization technologies, and nutrient management. Faustina Obin Adoma is Programs Officer of ICRA.
So what we are doing today is to develop what we call a bundled solution. So the solution includes the weather information, it includes the agro-advisory that the farmer needs to adapt based on how the weather is going to be. And if it's going to be a short season, for instance, it also includes the seed variety that is suitable for the season. It also includes the good agronomic practices that the farmer needs to adopt. It includes the ways that the farmer can manage pests and diseases in an integrated manner that is also climate smart. It includes how to manage soil fertility in a climate smart way. So we have put together some of these innovations into 4 bundles. One is focusing mainly on the seeds and the agro-advisories. The other one is focusing on solar irrigation. That is very key for women who are producing vegetables. Another one is focusing on climate smart integrated pest and diseases management. And another bundle is also focusing on soil health through smart production. So right from how you till your land through mechanization, and then the promotion of small tools such that we don't disturb the soil too much.
A farmer from Agri-Mecab, Emmanuel Aqua, urged collaboration with farmers to address the challenges.
Our presence here is to contribute to climate smart solutions for soil and productivity. And how we do this is by the produce we get from the larvae that provides us with the fertilizer. We are able to enhance soil performance, help the soil recover from degradation from the use of inorganic fertilizers, and also help adjust soil pH. With this program, we actually want to collaborate with other farmers to see how best we can serve the Ghanaian farmer.
Now we're all on the Joy Newsroom. My name is Winston Taki. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye-bye.